Welcome to the BBC.
Bring me your balls.
I feel like it was like a bad one night stand.
No, we're like, I'm gonna take on the world.
Lovely Las Vegas, where you can bring a hooker to your room, but you can't bleach an asshole.
Sometimes I bring cats. It's just
Working for Luba is like working for Hitler with tits.
whoa.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to another episode of the Between Both Cheeks podcast. My name is Becca, and I'm here today with our host, Erin.
Hello, everybody.
And we have, I think, a good topic for you today. We've been getting lots of questions lately about this. I think it's just a good refresher and a reminder for everybody. We're going to talk all about our ingredients, contraindications, using Bryght on the face, client consultations, patch tests, all of the things you need to know. We're going to answer a lot of our frequently asked questions here today. And why are we talking about this topic today, Erin?
So recently we've had a couple clients reach out and say, that there has been their clients on the services they're performing, their clients have had some adverse reactions. So, first we're like, making sure everybody's okay and showing concern, because obviously we pride ourselves in being transparent with our ingredients and having an all natural line that is gentle enough for any skin type. So it's important for us to go back and ask, what else are these clients using? Because typically, on average, we don't really receive many complaints. So when we have a couple, we know we need to educate everybody a little further and make sure they know the ins and outs of our product.
Yeah, we're going to make you pros just like us. Okay, so where to start? I guess ingredients. So we'll be talking more about the professional products today for the skin brightening line. So if you're an esthetician who is using Bryght, or you're about to use it and bring it into your business, these are the things that you need to know. There are 4 steps, and you use them with an LED wand. Our LED wand, that is a very important thing, as well as sometimes when people have reactions, sometimes the spa is using another LED device. And the only reason we say that you have to use our LED device is because if you're using something else, we don't know how that is going to play with our products in the sandbox, right? We haven't tested for that. There's so many products out there. We can't test the efficacy of every LED device. So first step, you have to use our LED device. That way we know how to troubleshoot if and when you do have an issue. And the 4 steps, step 1 is a cleanser. Step 2 is an exfoliant. It's a chemical exfoliant. Step 3 is like all of your lightening and brightening ingredients. And step 4 acts as your occlusive barrier. So those are the 4 steps. And now the most important ingredient to look out for in terms of reactivity and sensitivity with your clients is you need to do a consultation with your client. Every time you have a new client for a new service, you need to make sure that you're getting them to fill out a consent form or a consultation form where you're asking about their health history, their skin health, what other products they're using on the area that you're going to treat, if they have allergies. And now, like Erin said, we don't often get reactions, but when we do, these are all the questions that we're going to ask our spa providers if they have this information. And if you don't have this information, it just delays the process of getting you the help and the information that you need. So you need to make sure, especially, that you're getting what products they're using on that area. Every product they're putting on their skin on the same area you're treating counts. And make sure you stress that, because sometimes people forget what other products they're using. And also for allergies. So I once had somebody who was allergic to aloe, and aloe is in all of our products. And she didn't put it down on her consent form. And then she started feeling tingling. And I was like, well, what's going on? And I was like, do you have any allergies? And she started listing, she said, no allergies on my skin, but I'm allergic to aloe. And I was like, well, if you're allergic to it, if you eat it or if you're around it, it's the same as if you put it on your skin. So, but she didn't connect the dots in that way, that allergies, you need to write down every allergy. I'm allergic to animals. When I get a consent form, I write that down. I know it's probably not relevant in 9 out of 10 cases, but I'm making sure that I'm telling the provider all of my allergies.
It's important. I once read an article that women specifically put over 2,000 chemicals on their skin a day. And I don't know how much truth there is to that, but when you sit back and you actually think about it, right? You use your shampoo, your conditioner, your hair product, your face moisturizer, your eye cream, your body lotion, whatever the case may be. So that client consultation form is so important because, especially with the all natural products, right? So there's people who have food allergies, right? There's some of our products that have derivatives from food. What somebody could eat, right? So berries, people drink aloe, it's so important to have that. And we do have one available for purchase on our professional site. And it's important to get that information actual on a physical copy, because there's so many times, people ask, oh, are you allergic to anything? And you have that verbal consent. But if you're a small business owner and you're performing these services and something, God forbid, happens to one of your guests and they come back at you, you don't have that piece of paper saying, hey, you told me you weren't allergic to this thing. So what the repercussions might be, their health, your business, it's so important to be able to have that.
Yes. And some common allergens that are in Bryght products, again, it's very small percentages, but it's worth noting. We have sunflower oil, that can be an allergen. We have lemon, aloe, like I said, but the biggest one that usually comes up if there is an allergy is sunflower oil, or we have a lot of berry products in our skin products as well. So make sure you're looking at the ingredients and getting their allergies. And those are some common allergens that we do have in our products. So just keep that in mind and watch out for it. And then after you get the consultation form done, what we recommend doing is doing a patch test. So a patch test, if you've ever gone to the hair salon, or maybe you've even dyed your hair at home, you know that when you read that instruction pamphlet, it tells you to do a patch test. And now a patch test is doing the service on a small area to see how it reacts with the body, and then using that information to decide if it's safe to go forward or not. So Erin is a hairstylist by trade, and I find it's very common and normalized into your practice on the cosmetology side to do patch tests. But on the skin side, I feel like sometimes we just figure that, oh, like this product's worked great on all of my other clients, I'm just going to skip it. I don't want to waste their time. I don't want them to have to come back in the afternoon or the next day. And we get lazy. And then, you could prevent a reaction if you do that small step that really only takes probably 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, very quick. Our whole procedure time is 15 minutes or less. And I think avoiding all of this, especially if somebody has had a history of, sensitivity with any products, that even with you or at home, it's definitely worth it, right? Because we want to make sure that this is a safe, healthy service for everybody. Even if they're saying, nope, I'm all good, right? We want to just protect ourselves. And then, they're really important because, these clients might be using something on their face that it is an absolute no. So how do you go about saying, hey, no, you need to wait? a little bit of time before we do proceed with it. So, while we have all these, Becca, can you list off, what are some contraindications after these guests fill out this form?
The biggest ones with Bryght skin brightening products are typically, if you are going to have someone who has a reaction, it's almost always the face or the underarms. And typically those two areas are more reactive because they are getting other products used on them. Whereas if you're treating a bikini line or a booty, most people are not putting products on those areas on a regular basis. So there's hardly ever any reactions in, the knees, the elbows, things like that. As soon as you're going, especially into underarm and facial territory, you absolutely have to make sure you're mindful of contraindications. The most common ones with our products are, and the no-goes, the deal breakers are retinols, retinoids, any form of retinol or vitamin A, just because it's going to increase sensitivity on the skin. Another one is IPL laser or laser hair removal. You want to wait at least 7 to 10 days in between treatments. A strong chemical peel is another one. If they're using glycolic acid, lactic acid, or salicylic acid on those areas, our products do have all three of those acids in them, but you don't want to combine it with another product that has those acids at a stronger concentration. Our acids are less than 1% each, so it's really just like a drop in there. But I've also had clients have a reaction and I go, okay, well, what are you using on the area regularly? And they say, oh, I have this toner from The Ordinary and it's 10% glycolic acid. So of course, as soon as you add more actives onto that area, your skin is going to freak the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
And then with underarms, big contraindication why that area can be so sensitive is deodorant. So hopefully everyone's using deodorant, but if your client is using deodorant, you want to check that their deodorant is both all natural and it has no baking soda. So a lot of all natural
You told me
deodorants.
that once, and it's still, every time I hear you say it, it blows my mind. Because I remember reaching out to you with, a question from a client, and you're like, oh, well, if it has baking soda, I'm like, what? And I remember looking it up and it was just like a light bulb went off. And I'm like, maybe this is why I've had this issue my whole entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy.
most chemical deodorants, they have aluminum or some other heavy metal in them that's stopping the perspiration. Then you think, okay, well, I'll get a natural deodorant. Those have got to be better. And then a lot of natural deodorants have baking soda in them as their deodorizer. And baking soda and aluminum are very reactive compounds, especially with our products, and they also cause hyperpigmentation. So you don't want to be using them for the reactivity, and also because you're trying to prevent and treat hyperpigmentation with Bryght, so you don't want to use something that's going to further cause that problem. Typically, that's all you have to look out for on the underarms, aside from allergies, is their deodorant. And once you've got those down, you're pretty much smooth sailing. It's on the face that you have to be really careful, because somebody might think, oh, I use the same products on my face all the time, and they don't have any of these ingredients that you're listing, the acids, the retinols, but maybe they forgot that last week they tried a new product and then a new one. And I don't know about you, but I change my skincare almost as often as I change my underwear, especially on my face. So with all these lotions and potions that we're using, not all of them are going to play nice together. But because our products are using the word bleach in our marketing, you immediately think, oh, it's Bryght that caused that. When really it could be a number of different things. You tried a new foundation, you tried a new primer, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to get every single thing that's touched their face. And also if they've recently waxed their face, threaded, sugared, any facial treatment at all, you need to make sure you're aware of it. And if they're wearing sunscreen every day on their face. Those are the big contraindications. Now, contraindications aside from ingredients and skincare and products are typically pregnancy and breastfeeding, not because it's not safe, but just because there's heightened hormones at that time, and a big cause of hyperpigmentation is hormones. So you don't want to go one step forward and two steps back. And the same thing for chemotherapy, because that's also a hormone treatment. And it can be really tough on the skin. So you don't really want to use anything that's exfoliating while someone is undergoing chemotherapy treatment. Another one is thyroid medication, again, hormonal. If someone is transitioning their gender and they've recently started transitioning drugs like estrogen or testosterone, you want to kind of avoid Bryght at that beginning stage. Not to say that people with hormone treatment can't use Bryght, you just want to wait till the hormones are level. So after they've had the baby, after they're done breastfeeding, after they've had maybe 3 months on their transitioning medication, I wouldn't use the brightening products on someone who's undergoing active chemotherapy treatment. I would wait till the treatment is over. And always consult a healthcare provider if it's any medical treatment as well. But basically, rule of thumb is acids, retinols, hormones. All
And
of
all
those
of
things.
this can be found out using a client consultation form.
Yes, that's where it all comes back to. And if you have that consultation form, if and when you do have a reaction and you contact us, you can send us that form, or you can type it out or tell us over the phone. And then we have all the information and we can help you that much quicker to find out what it was that was going on. So Erin got a phone call today about someone who had a reaction on the face. And Erin was troubleshooting with this person, wondering why this person had a reaction on the face. And what did you ask them, Erin?
And I know what this person looks like, and she's stunning. Her skin is just glowing and glorious, and she's just such a beautiful person. So I asked, oh, well, are you using a retinol? And she's like, well, yeah, I get it. Me too. But, Bryght truly should be, it's a standalone service, right? So, retinol, from my understanding, right, is it increases cell turnover on the skin, right? And
Yes.
that gives us that beautiful, glowing, smooth skin. But it also is going to make us more sensitive to services like Bryght, even though it is all natural. The combination, like you said, Becca, doesn't always make them play nice in the sandbox. So, quickly, it was just that one question. We figured out what it was very quickly. So, having that client consultation form and having those, asking the right questions to your clients, what they're using, how they're using it, and then how this treatment is going to be used to get them the results that they want. It's so extremely important for their health and safety, and then you and your business as well. And then, like Becca said, absolutely always reach out to us. We're more than happy to help and give support where needed and walk you through any questions, comments, or concerns that you have or your clients have. Just because, like I said, we just want everybody to be safe and like the service as much as we do.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't let this episode scare you. You can use Bryght on the face and on the underarms and everywhere
use it on your asshole.
You can even use it on your asshole. That's numero uno with Bryght. That is how gentle it can be. It's a very gentle system. Like I said, all of the acids are less than 1%, and usually acids are the things that are going to cause a reaction. But it's not that Bright's not gentle. It's just if you're using other lotions and potions on the area, sometimes they get a bit possessive of the skin and they don't want any new friends on the block.
That's true. Like I've been a hairstylist for forever, and there was, I worked with a number of brands throughout my career, but there's one specifically that I won't name, but it's a great product and it has a huge fan base, internationally. Unfortunately though, I cannot touch it. I cannot use it on my scalp, on my skin. I cannot, the color, even when I was washing it off, I could not touch it without having severe reactions where I would scab and turn red, and it
Wow.
was horrible. And like I
Oh
said,
my
this
gosh.
product has a huge fan base, and I'm not typically, the only allergy I really have is shellfish. Other than that, I'm not allergic to anything else. I get an itchy nose when my cat's by me, but it just goes to show that, all natural products, sometimes they don't bother you, but then there is the combination possibly of some that you get a reaction from. So, the consultation and the patch test, you do yourself a favor and just do it.
Yeah, that's what everything comes down to.
Yeah.
And speaking of the natural products, quickly, I just thought of something else. There's pros and cons to everything. The pro to the natural products is, of course, they're typically more gentle, possibly safer. Consumers really like natural products, especially nowadays with the environment and everything else. But the con to natural products is every batch of the raw material, and by raw material, I mean like, say we buy all of our raw materials. We're buying salicylic acid, and ours comes from fermented sugar. Every batch of the new raw material that we're buying is going to vary slightly from batch to batch because it's a natural product and nature is not perfect. It's going to be slightly different every time. So that can also be sometimes where reactions come in is, like you said, sometimes you use a product for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden you get a reaction to it. And maybe that's because the ingredient has changed ever so slightly. So even with our natural products, everything is lab tested to be shelf stable, but maybe sometime the lemons in our products are different than the lemons last season. So that can be what plays in as well. And that can be a conclusion we come to after we've ruled out absolutely everything else, that the product was safe, the batch number checks out, and it was tested, and it was quarantined, and it was fine, and you're not using any of the other contraindication products. So just something to keep in mind with natural products, with any natural product, not just Bryght. It does vary from that to that. And if you ever have a concern as well, when you send us your information, or when you send any company your information about a reaction, send us the lot number of your product as well, because that can help us do some investigating too, if we notice that the same lot number is getting complaints more than usual.
And I would like to just point out that complaints about reactions for Bryght they're atypical. They don't happen very often. So, when we get calls like this, we're like, what else played into it? So we don't want, this to scare you away, right? Because it is safe.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure you're protected and that your guests are protected, and we know exactly what we're doing. And as professionals, making the right recommendation and performing the service at the right time.
Yeah, totally. I'd like to see if we start tracking what the number works out to be, because I would say, just from my own experience, if we get 300 emails in a week, I'd say if there is a reaction, probably less than 5.
I wouldn't even say that. If you're saying a week,
I would say like 1 or 2.
No.
No? I haven't done customer service in a long time, to be fair. Erin's like, Becca, you have not touched that inbox in weeks. Months,
I got a couple
actually.
mentions in there, Becca. You better go. No, I wouldn't even say that. If we're getting, roughly 300, yeah, absolutely. We get a ton of, people reaching out every week, which we love. But I wouldn't even say 5 of them. It's not even every week we get, someone saying, hey, I have a reaction. It's so few and far between. I mean, we're lucky if we get 1 to 5 a month. Not lucky. We're unlucky if that, it is so few and far between. The majority of, honestly, I just responded an email. We get so many people leaving us reviews like, oh my gosh, I love this product, doing so well. And we, bounce those emails back and forth, say, we'd love to hear this. This is so wonderful. Thank you for reaching out. We love it. So honestly, yeah, 1 to 5, if that, a month.
Yeah. Yeah. That's more accurate. And sometimes we can go months without any.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? If you're thinking of bringing it on, or if you have it in your salon or spa in your treatment room, take the certification. I mean, our trainers, they're extremely, I mean, Becca's so knowledgeable too, but our trainers are extremely knowledgeable. They use it, they perform the service, they train for us. All these questions, you create this relationship, and you're so easily able to reach out and say, this is what happened, what do you think? Or, reach out to us too. It's best to know the product in and out.
Yes, always with anything. Yeah,
Anything.
I know a lot of like the theory and the science behind why the products work, but I've never done the treatment on anybody. So if you have a question about, actually using it in real life, I'm not your girl. Our trainers are your girls because they use it every day.
And hey, that speaks volumes as to why we're bringing them around the country with us, because they know, yes, I have a cosmetology license, but I do not perform the service. We bring these women around with us because they know, and they know well.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if you were to ask me how to position a client, I don't know. What if they didn't shower before their appointment and there's a little surprise down below? I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it respectfully. I'll tell you that.
Our girls, they make you feel so good about yourself. And everybody, I learn a lot from them all the time.
Yeah.
So I know everybody could learn a little something. They're wonderful.
Yeah. And we're working on it. It's not out yet, but we are rolling out some training programs in Spanish as well. So pretty soon we will have a Spanish trainer. She's working on translating a lot of our online materials to Spanish as well. She's a dermatologist, so she is the best person to translate our stuff for us.
An actual dermatologist. She is a medical doctor, and she is going to be our trainer.
Yeah, we've got a medical doctor on staff, y'all. Dermatologist. So Bryght is dermatologist recommended and approved. Who would have thought? That's crazy.
If you're interested in learning more, or asking any questions or meeting any of us, we will actually be in Anaheim, California this weekend.
We will.
So come visit
the premiere Anaheim show. Yeah.
What's our booth number?
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you. What's our booth number? 3236.
3236. Okay. Come say 36. Hi.
Come say hi. Learn about Bryght.
And ask about the show special.
Please ask for a show special, please. Ask Shonda. Ask Shonda for a show special.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, with that said, come to the trade shows, ask who Shonda is, ask her for the show special. She has a special discount for you that the rest of us can't give out. And our next trade show will be Anaheim, California with Premiere. And then so many other ones after that. I don't have them memorized, so check the link in the bio. We'll have the ingredients listed there as well for you. And like always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you want to be a guest, you can send an email to podcast@brightonup.com. You can subscribe and listen to all the episodes and write a review if you go to betweenbothcheeks.brightonup.com. And if you want to really make our day, write us a review on the website about the products. We, like Erin said, we pass those around when they come in, we forward them to each other, and it makes our day a lot of the times.
We hang them on our refrigerator.
We do. Oh my God. Well, we have an office now if you're watching the video. So
Yeah, we'll hang it on our office
we're
refrigerator.
we're gonna work on getting things printed and putting them up. But it's like our customers and us are psychically connected. I find that if we're having a bad day or something's gone wrong behind the scenes, that's when we get a glowing review, and it really turns the day around and brightens us. Bright. It
Brightens up.
helps us brighten up our day.
There you go.
There you go. Slow start. So send us a review. Listen to the podcast. We have ads on the podcast now. Interact with them if you want. Helps out our show. And if you have any other ideas of things we should talk about, send us an email. Otherwise, we will see you hopefully this weekend in Anaheim, California, or on the podcast again next week. Okay, good night, Chicago.
Good night, Vancouver.